Well, I've been asking Joe Lloyd and Carly Mello and Deanne Butterworth to come into the studio, and I've been asking them questions, and we've been doing like a performed interview. I've been asking them what they remember, how they remember it, why they remember certain things about movement. I've been asking them to describe everything that they can about it, or to talk as much as they can about it, to try to get some language around it. Then I'm going to take that language and I'm probably going to mess with it quite a lot, pull it apart and reconstruct it. It's quite interesting because as a choreographer, you know, you can stand at the front of your group of dancers and go here, do this, turn to the right, and the leg goes over and flick and down. You know, really what you've said is probably nothing like what you've actually just done. Because Beck doesn't have any experience, well, as much experience of my work as, say, Joe, Carly, Deanne, who have been in the studio with Beck so far. I think it'll just be really about what will be left and what will she use and how will she work with this kind of residue, or this sort of stuff that's being handed down to her. And I guess there's the thing that I'll need to figure out is, if, say, for example, movement's described and not shown to her, what does she then make of that, and what's missing in that, and can what's missing be felt or be evoked? Because it will be her take on it, I guess. Rhian is such a skilled artist and has so many ways into using video and can do so many things that he quite freely throws ideas into the mix. He doesn't bring too much of although he has a very strong aesthetic, he doesn't bring a predetermined idea about what it should be. So that's really helpful for me because it means it can do a whole lot of different things. It can create a tension with what's going on in the physical body. It can somehow reinvent or show what's happening in a different way, and I'm interested in that kind of combination of things becoming something other. Well, I have these books of notes, like a lot of people do, that don't make any sense to me at all, even a week later. I do have, you know, boxes and boxes of tapes of the rehearsal process, and under my bed. You can easily jump to that as something that will help preserve what you think you've just done, but what do you really think you've just done? It's not everything, and it's definitely deceiving in what it shows and how you reinterpret it down the track, and that's a huge problem unto itself. The reliance or the naturalisation of video as a tool in the choreographic process hasn't, I don't think, really been maybe investigated as much as it could be. The Ballet Russe documentary that came out 3 or 4 years ago, all these older dancers are performing choreography that they did when they were 20. They weren't leaping in the air, and there wasn't any spectacular kind of virtuosic sort of display of anything in particular. But what remained with them was almost this complete dance experience. The depth of the experience in their body and the way that that was there, very present, I thought was really interesting and intriguing idea that within this form there could be so much of a kind of interior life and almost a transparency. So the form of the movement, the steps of the movement, the pathway or whatever was really became kind of of a lesser concern than the actual sensation of moving, the physical sensation of moving. And that idea really appeals to me because it feels like there's so much to say and do with movement that about what it means to be a human that moves.